Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now August 2nd of 2024, and already Deadpool and Wolverine has garnered over $500 million at the box office worldwide. That is, of course, $500 million in just 6 to 7 days, right around that time frame, and that's very impressive coming from those like Ryan Reynolds, Paul Wernick, Rhett Reese, the writers of the film, along with Sean Levy, the director, who really all took a stand against the Walt Disney Company to say it's our way or the highway, and they got things done their way, basically with no DEI agenda, with no Disney nonsense getting thrown into this thing or anything related to their overall ideology or their agenda. They wanted to focus on pure entertainment strictly, and if anything comes along naturally, then that was, fine within the script. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, already we have multiple figures beginning to attack the creators of Deadpool and Wolverine and pointing the finger at the fans enjoying this film. I think it comes from nowhere but pure jealousy. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of figures that are seemingly very jealous about the fact that there's now an entertaining movie that is inching closer and closer each and every day to garnering $1 billion at the box office worldwide. And yes, I believe it's going to hit that point easily without question. Now, what's interesting about this has a lot more to do with Joy Behar. She continues to talk trash about Ryan Reynolds, about the Deadpool fans, Marvel fans, you name it, and it's the most nonsense thing that you could ever imagine. Let's jump into this. Now, one thing about Joy Behar, by the way, is that she never knows what she's talking about. Now, with Deadpool and Wolverine already a box office success with over $500 million at the box office worldwide, one major development now has more to do with Behar of The View attacking fans, specifically Marvel fans, in the midst of the Deadpool and Wolverine box office success. Behar delivered the following. Hey, look, I know many that have kids in their teens that watch all the Marvel stuff, and the growing issue in the film industry today, I think, is you are having so many adult fans taking their kids to these R-rated films that are just so violent, filled with foul language. The main reason why we are seeing a growing level of kids around ages 12 to 16 years old cursing and saying all these words, I think has a lot to do with films just like Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, look, I love Disney, I have always supported Disney, and I have had my differences with Mr. Iger, yes, but this Deadpool film is not the answer on how to make a mature film for adult audiences, because it encourages those fans to bring their kids at any age, and it just turns the world into a cesspool. It's movies like this that are a bad influence on the younger generation that really, of course, can't put proper sentences together without a curse word thrown in there. This is my main problem with Ryan and whoever else created this thing. I also think it's very damaging to the general public since this film doesn't properly represent different communities, and Disney's stance on diversity, equity, and inclusion just seems to be non-existent in this one. I mean, if you have a company that supports DEI, why not embrace that in all your films to help with the support of those different communities? You see, it's the adult fans that are the source of the problem, why the younger generation isn't properly learning about DEI, because the older generation remains opposed to it and just sickening. I am a movie, of course, buff, but I am not for Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know why this sudden change. I did get a chance to see it because Disney, and I just was not impressed. Too many F words and too many immature moments in here. Look, I used to be a comedian, okay? I used to do stand-up, so I get that comedy can be hard, but I just don't think Ryan as a comedic actor is fit for this role from the creative end when you are writing a story with other creators. It's something that needs to be addressed because it is something that needs close attention with all this new R-rated film trend coming out into the light by Disney. The lack of representation in this film, I think, is a growing issue, and I hope Disney goes back into their regular path where they support that properly to really adapt to their audience, because I think you are just limiting yourself when you are moving away from diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, guys, before I move on about what she's spewing out there, what she's really kind of doing here is basically labeling adult fans for taking their kids to Deadpool and Wolverine. And look, it's a free country. Anyone can do what they want to do when they want to actually go out and see entertainment, watch entertainment, like movies, for example, in this case. They could do that if they would like. That's up to them. You know, they have the parental guidance there. But what's interesting about Behar is that I think that this is all coming from a place because they are beginning to melt down. People like Tatiana Maslany, Joy Behar, and among others that we will also address. The fact that she is acting like this, I think, has a lot to do with the fact that they did not expect Deadpool and Wolverine to be such a smash hit. Alright, this could very well garner well over $1 billion at the box office worldwide. It is very possible at this point because it's only been a week, a little over 1 week, and you already are at that $500 million worldwide point. Now, what's interesting about that too is that when you look at everything related to Joy Behar, we all know that she's irrelevant. She doesn't matter in this world. She's on The View, of all things, of all shows out there. Any sane person will never watch The View from start to finish. The only sane people, by the way, that actually catch The View are the ones flipping through their channels and they so happen to land on it on accident. But moving on here, she goes on to conclude, I think Mr. Iger needs to adjust his strategy, and if he's listening, I hope he does, that DEI needs to stay in these films of yours. Don't forget your untapped audience that is just waiting for representation in Marvel films. There were so many missed opportunities in this movie. So look, I think Joy Behar is still gonna get her terrible wish come true. Disney's still pumping out DEI garbage. That's not going to end. That's not going to stop. Sure, you're going to have exceptions. Sure, you're going to have instances like this where you have a wide success by Disney, Inside Out 2 and now Deadpool and Wolverine, the two biggest, moments for 2024 via the Walt Disney Company. But 2025 is looking quite risky. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now with Thunderbolts, with Blade 2025, the new Blade movie, by the way, not starring Wesley Snipes. That is with Ali instead. And we have other problems with Captain America 4. I mean, there were so many reshoots with that thing that they went way over budget. So we also have Snow White 2025. I mean, there's a lot going on next year, and we'll talk more about that later in the week. But with Deadpool and Wolverine, you have someone like Behar, really kind of taking shots at Ryan Reynolds, taking shots at the adult Marvel fans, and blaming them for creating this so-called trend of younger audiences using curse words and having quote-unquote foul language. That is nothing new. That has been around for as long as I can remember. I don't think it's anything new that just suddenly changed within a matter of a year or two. I don't think that's exactly how she's putting it or how she's actually seeing things, but I think that she's saying whatever she has to say to deal with the overall cope, that this is a huge success because it shies away from the typical Disney agenda, the Disney message, right? And that's a good thing. Look, if you have an entertaining product, by all means, release it if it's going to make fans happy. So overall, I think that at the end of the day, Behar has no clue what she's talking about. I would love to hear what you all have to say about the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, Joy Behar, you name it. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.